Wrinkles, silver hair, bring it on. Aging unfolds in chapters, and wisdom comes from the years. And solo aging is a unique journey as it is an adventure together, unfolding in every step that's taken, every mouthful of food that is eaten, every thought or feeling that is expressed. Aging is happening. We're not waiting for it. It is happening. And to do so confidently with a better, wiser, kinder approach, that's what these Sunday morning videos are about. That's before 12 noon Mountain. A video will appear here on the channel. And I share these videos that have a topic of interest, I hope, to you. It looks at connections, competition, collaborations among topics like mentoring as legacy, nature awareness writing, and solo aging confidently. Hi, I'm Stephen. I am the CEO of WELLth Movement. I'm a gray digital solo aging nomad. Let me break that down. The gray, I think, is obvious. Digital is that I do just about all of my work online. It's very rare that I will go out to make a presentation or go to stage anymore. And solo aging is certainly a description of myself. I do not have kin or partners around me. I am living a life that is single and enjoying it immensely. The nomad aspect of this actually goes back, well, let's see, what was it, about 12 years when I sold my home and gave everything I owned away so that I could get to a point where I could just travel. I could do dog sitting, house sitting for friends, and just take a little bit of a different tack on life. And I've actually got it down to the point where I have everything I own is in less than 15 Rubbermaid boxes, the bigger volume boxes, but 15 of those. And I'm enjoying it immensely. And one of the things that I'm doing and finding great heartbeat with it is exploring the younger, older, elder storyline. In particular, looking at it from the elder to older. In other words, how might I help olders become elders? What does that mean? And I'm exploring that for myself as well. And that's okay. That's just an element of my life. It is just what's unfolding. So these YouTube videos that I'll be shooting, for the most part, will be long. There'll be some shorts on this channel. And what I'll be doing is guiding solo agers, in other words, solo olders to elders, to craft a mentoring as legacy project, including the stories and contributions that go with that. What does that mean? How do you go about doing that? And for what reasons? That's important as well. So it is actually taking what sometimes is called project management and finding a slightly different way of putting that together for those of you who may not have project management background, but if you do, that's great. If not, I have created a management of the project format that you can use. And it's born of, 40 some years of working in corporate nonprofits and doing a lot of different kind of management leadership consulting. And all of it was framed by project management and program management. So I can certainly dig into that and help you with that process, that system. The other thing is to help you use the creative process with nature awareness, creative expression. That's another fancy way of saying nature awareness writing. I have found it important to stay connected with nature. So I'm walking all the time and I'm taking in what nature is presenting to me. It's sort of like a self-care companion, living systems educator, and the metaphors of muse that I find while I'm walking, I'm forever putting notes into my phone or remembering a core image, taking that picture and bringing it back to home base and figuring out what can I do with it. So I'm always tapping into this creative process, this nature awareness writing, and that's what I'd like to share with you. Because what I want you to do is extend your personal commitment in being for the world, with the planet, from the whole. Now, what does that mean? Along the way, I figured out that there is this notion of being for the world, being for humanity. And then there is the sense of being with the planet, with all the wild kin, inorganic, organic, the planetary systems. And then there's this notion of being from the whole, because everything is interconnected. And what does that mean? And it may be going out and learning a lot more about quantum physics or metaphysics, and just exploring consciousness as we might understand it, and bringing that back to your life, bringing it into your life, and finding ways to express it. Because what I want to do is, why do you want to do what you want to do? Why do you want to share what it is that you want to share? Now, for some of you, you are extending your careers that you already have, and you're going, well, I'll keep doing something similar. Some of you might be going, hey, it's time for a little bit of a shift here. Let's see what else is possible for me. And what I want to do is engage with you, support you, so that you can remain relevant and nourish your relevance, your resilience, to gain your resourcefulness, your resourcence. Because I don't want that to sort of slip away on you, because that's not going to be helpful. And remaining relevant is one of those core ideas about solo aging and aging that we want to keep forefront. Then there's this notion of to support you in leveraging your experiences. You've had a life of moments and memories and experiences, some of them remarkable, some of them extraordinary. What might you do with those so that you can witness a meaningful and lasting impact? And that's where the legacy story comes in. Now, here's something that sort of had to come to me in a little bit of a long about way, is because I'm in my 70th revolution of the sun. And one of the things that I looked at was this notion of isolation and loneliness. Now, I found that I wasn't lonely. I didn't feel isolated. But over the last number of years, that topic has really surfaced, bubbled up, and it has affected a lot of people from a mental health, a cellular health perspective, a spiritual perspective. And I want to be able to shatter these isolation and loneliness vibes that people are having. What can we do to sort of turn that on its head, if not get rid of those kind of vibes? Then there's this notion of contributing to society so that you can experience reciprocity. Now, this one is kind of interesting from a solo aging point of view, is because normally with your kin around, direct kin, you are finding ways in which to be in community. But sometimes you may slip away from it a little bit. So how can we get you connected with it? Really get your friends involved, get involved with your friends and what it is that they're doing. And through some kind of legacy project, find a way in which to make that contribution into community. Now, here's one. Now, this one is very deep and near to me. And one of the reasons I want to assist you is so that you can determine the quality of experiences you want to welcome into your life. You get to determine the quality of those experiences. Sometimes we're handed things as we're aging, and we're told this or that, and they sort of become social norms that we're supposed to abide by. I don't know if that's how I want to live, and I decided not to live that way. I'm wondering if that's how you want to live, is to follow the societal norms, or go, hang on a minute, maybe there's some other ways in which to live my legacy life, and so that I can express myself through mentoring, through creative expression. So let's take a look at how you want to determine the quality of your experiences on your terms. Now, through the interactions that I'm going to share with you, I will be using a metaphor of walking a path. And this path is about WELLth Movement. So the name of my company is WELLth Movement, WELLth, and it's about well-being and well-living and the physical to social cultural movement that goes with that. It's an encompassing term that I would open up for you so that you can figure out, well, how am I going to leverage and remain well, my well-being, my well-living with others? What's the kind of movement that I want to get involved with, whether physical, mental, emotional, soul, spiritual, from the whole? What kind of movement do you want to experience? Because at the end of the day, I want you to value your ABCs. Yeah, going back to the alphabet, the A is for your activities, B is your behavior, C is your consequences. And how might you bring marks for the world, those markers that you are going to live and leave for the world, the footfalls that you want to be with the planet? What kind of footfalls are they? And what is the essence of you that you want to be from the whole that you can leave? And that's that notion of the lasting, meaningful legacies, and how might that unfold for you? Now, the big question here is, why am I doing this and being with you? Well, there's 5 reasons actually for that. The first one is the origin story of WELLth Movement, the name of my company, yes, and this development of WELLth Movement. And it goes back to 1987 at a roadblock in a country in Africa. And this roadblock is made up of stones in the middle of the road. If it's daylight and there's soldiers around, you got to stop. And we did. I had a driver at the time. And up to the window came a soldier, pointed the machine gun at the window. And as I rolled down the window, the machine gun actually came in and touched the tip of my nose. And the soldier was asking questions. I backed off a little bit and was trying to pay attention to what the driver was talking about. It wasn't in English, it was in another language. So I was just trying to understand what might be happening. And then I noticed that the gun started to waver a little bit, and I could hear laughter with the other soldiers around. The gun would wave a little bit, and I'd just push it off, and it'd come back, push it off, come back. And this carried on for about 3 minutes, and then I understood that we were given the go to leave, and the machine gun was withdrawn, and we drove away. And I was looking in the side mirror, and I said to my driver, "How old is that soldier?" And he said, "Well, she's probably about 14 or 15. Yes, a young woman. And I was in her workplace. And the reason the gun was waving, the machine gun was waving, was the weight of it holding it up in the window. The laughter is because her colleagues, the other soldiers, could see she was having a little bit of difficulty. And she was attempting to save face, but at the same time, knowing the gun's getting heavier. So 3 minutes later, let's get out of here." And from that day forward, that deep resonance of why for me was not to give up on my word so I would pick up on a weapon. And I've done everything I can to live by that code, is to use the words rather than weapons. And unfortunately, I have been experiencing words that have become weapons. So it's an interesting dilemma that I find myself in, and that's something we can chat about a little bit more as time goes by. Another thing I wanted to do, and it really resonates with me, is to resource support nature awareness projects. That's why I do the nature awareness writing. I have a legacy project that I will certainly share more with you, and it's linked with forest and trees. And I'm looking to raise resources, usually in the form of money that I can then get into these projects. And there's a couple that I'm supporting now. And to be able to update that and upgrade that. And that's one of my projects, and I can use it as an example. Now, you may get involved with that project, or you might have your own, and I can support you. Now, I've been an academic, so I have taught at university and colleges. And so I have this little academic flavor to my life. Some people might say it's a little bit more than a little. It's a heaping seasoning. And I'm okay with that. Yet, I've been wanting to answer the question, whole is it? Let me explain. Whole is like a new question. We have how and why and who. I'm using whole as it, and it's spelt three different ways. So IT in lowercase is whole is I transact. With a capital I small t, whole is it I transform. And the capital IT is whole is I transcend. And I'm looking at this from a transition point of view because transition is my response to change. And there's change all around me, and that change sets up challenges. And therefore, I want to take a look at how do I transact, how do I transform, how do I transcend, and how does that inform me in the decisions that I'm making to make kinder, wiser, so that they can be better decisions about living this solo aging lifestyle that I find myself in. So I'm philosophically jumping around, writing articles and that, and sharing those on a wide basis. The fourth way that I'm doing this is that I also encourage you to find that there's a word that really is an expression of your head, heart, and hands. I believe there's five, but there's one that sort of is like a blinking sign that says the diner is open and it's blinking. And that word for me is magnificence. It's a made-up word. And what it is for me is to be magnificent. Just in myself, just be magnificent, then show up in that way. And do what's significant, do the significance of things so that I have magnificence. So what I be and do, and I bring that together, I'll have. So bring this magnificence, this significance, bring them together, I get this magnificence. And that's a word that I use on a daily basis just to remind myself of the activities, the behavior, the consequences that I find myself in as I move through a day. And I'd love to explore opportunities to find those five, certainly that one, find ways in which to bring that to the foreground for you and see how that informs your decisions about living your extraordinary life. Now, the other thing is I want to experience me, myself, and I, the individual, but I also want to experience the you, we, and us. And I want to experience interactions with the wild kin, both inorganic and organic. So there is my experience with me, my experience with you, our experience with everything, because we're all interconnected. And what might that look like? And that's why I thought that I would start to shoot videos on a Sunday, Saturday, Sunday, but certainly posting them on Sunday at 12 by 12 noon Mountain, so that I can share a little bit more of the personal stories. And during the weeks and on weekends, there's other videos, articles written, courses available. But this would be a little bit more personal. You get to know me, and there's a lot that I would love to share with you as well. I've had the pleasure of working on 6 or 7 continents. Some of the work that I've done is kind of amazing. I've been in places that no longer exist. I've experienced the consequences of war. I've touched it on the edges. I haven't fought or anything like that, but I have touched the edges of it from a medical perspective. I've enjoyed time in universities. I can jokingly share with you as I have more letters after my name than I do in my name. So there's things that I'd like to share with you and images that I've collected over time. But more importantly is to get into a collaborative conversation with you. And if we can find ways where this video actually goes live on a Sunday, I would be happy to do that as well and invite you into the conversation. So let's see how this unfolds. So this was my sort of Sunday contribution. It's a way for me to share me, myself, and I. So you, we, and us can get together and we can then connect with all the kin, all the wild kin, inorganic, organic, and see what we can do in living legacy life, being able to find ways in which to use mentoring and create legacy projects, use creative expression like nature awareness writing, these kind of ways in which to really provide the basis to remain relevant, leverage experience, determine the quality of experiences that you want to welcome into your life, and to really give a really great sense of what it means to solo age confidently. And if we can do that and share that, that will tickle me heart in my head and my hands. And I welcome you to be who you are. And let's see where we path together on this WELLth Movement path. So with that, take care, and we'll see you again later on.